Okay, fourth years, Assalamu alaikum. The last topic of nutrition which I have to discuss with you is assessment of nutritional status. It's divided into two parts and I will finish it today in two lectures. So you both of the lectures of community medicine, they will be taken by me and I will finish this topic. Learning objectives. Why you are studying assessment of nutritional status? Why? Because you will be well aware that what do you mean by nutritional status, and then how you can identify the magnitude and the character of this problem, how you will identify subgroups in the community or in a defined population where you are assessing the nutritional status, identify the subgroups at risk, and of course when you will get the data and you will get all the information, then of course this will help you to overcome the nutritional problem so that you can develop response strategy for correction. So this is all these were the learning objectives, that why you are studying nutritional assessment as status, right? So we start, and first of all, the nutritional status of an individual, it is influenced by adequate food intake both in quantity and quality. How much food you are consuming and what quality of food you are consuming, and also your physical health, it matters, and it tells about the nutritional status. And when we talk about a community, then it's the sum of the nutritional status of the individuals which form that particular community. Now, how can we define? Definition of nutritional assessment is, it is the intake of a diet which is sufficient to meet or exceed the needs of the individual, and it will keep the composition and functions of individual within normal range, right? So how will you define nutritional assessment? It is the intake of a diet which is sufficient to meet or exceed the needs of the individual, and it will keep the composition and functions of the individual within normal range, right? So this is the definition, and then we proceed further. So what are the methods? How can you assess the nutritional status of a person? Number one is clinical examination of the person. Number two is anthropometry. Number three is laboratory and biochemical assessment. Number four is functional assessment. Number five, the vital statistics related to mortality and morbidity. Number six is dietary intake assessment. Number seven is assessment of ecological factors. So we will discuss all these 7 points one by one so that we will be well familiar with the methods to assess nutritional status. Number one is clinical examination. Now before just going to the methods, if you are doing the evaluation of the nutritional status in a community, how will you do it? How will you assess? What will be your procedure? So this is the you will do a survey, right? And this will be labeled as nutritional survey. So you need to do nutritional survey so that you can assess the status of nutrition in that community. How it is done and why it is done? It is done so that you can obtain precise information on the prevalence and geographic distribution of nutritional problems of a given community. Right? If the community is healthy, it's well and good. But of course, all the people in the community, they will not be healthy. And when we will do the survey, then we will come across certain who have got nutritional problems, and through this survey we will identify at-risk population. If we will not do these surveys, we can't identify the problem and we can't develop the healthcare program. So we do this nutritional survey, we assess the nutritional problems of the given community so that we can identify who are at risk, the people at risk, whose diet is not sufficient, who are somehow malnourished, and then we will formulate the programs which will help to develop the health of that population, right? So nutritional survey is the key figure so that we can assess the nutritional status. Okay, and during this survey what will we do? Number one is the clinical examination. Now you all are doing in your medical wards or in any ward, you are doing physical examination, clinical examination, and I think that you have become master of it, so you can just assess by the look of the patient, by the appearance of the patient, by the walk, how he enters into your consultation room, how he looks, whether he is well oriented, whether he is pale anemic, whether he is blue cyanosed, weight is very less, fresh looking, thin looking, emaciated, whatever. So clinical examination, it just starts when the person or the patient enters, and here, because you are doing survey, you are going to the in a community, you are visiting the people, so you will assess the level of health just by entering in their homes. Now clinical examination, it is done to assess the level of the health in relation to the food consumed by the, if you are doing individually, so of course food consumed by that individual. This clinical examination, it will tell you about the malnutrition, which in turn is associated with certain specific and many non-specific physical signs. Clinical examination you will do, and this will tell you about the malnutrition. You have studied in detail malnutrition topic, and you are very well aware that how it is manifested. Specific and non-specific physical signs. Specific, like vitamin A deficiency, white hot spots. Specific, when iodine deficiency, it's goiter. So when it's vitamin D deficiency, manifestations of rickets. Vitamin C deficiency, scurvy manifestations. So the clinical examination, it will tell you about the malnutrition, which is associated either with very specific and typical pictures you will get, and sometimes this is very non-specific. You have to diagnose further. So WHO expert committee is classified signs which are used in nutritional survey into 3 categories. Number 1, which are not directly related, and number 2, which need further investigations, and number 3, which are very very specific. So the non-specific which is not related is alopecia or pyorrhea. Now alopecia, hair fall, it can occur due to so many reasons. You cannot label के ये जो बाल गिर रहे हैं definitely इस वजह से. Similarly, this is the gums infection, and of course there are so many reasons. So pyorrhea. So here these signs, they are not specifically related. Then there are certain signs which need further investigations, like malar pigmentation. It's the redness of the cheeks, and of course we don't know गाल अगर गुलाबी हैं तो किस वजह से है, right? Malar pigmentation, it's usually the brownish pink pigmentation. Sometimes even melanin pigmentation is also there on the cheeks. Malar bones, they are cheekbones, and malar pigmentation, it is usually brownish spots which are present. And when there is iron deficiency, then again pigmentation is there. So we have to further investigate that what is the reason of pigmentation on the cheeks. Now corneal vascularization, again it needs further investigations. Then very specific signs I have mentioned, like Bitot spots, angular stomatitis, this is vitamin B deficiency, calf tenderness, neuropathies, absence of knee or ankle jerk, this occurs in beriberi. So there are certain specific signs, so that you can tell a dietary deficiency, this is due to this particular deficient nutrient. So your clinical examination, it will reveal, sometimes you will be very well aware that this person is malnourished due to this deficiency, or you will then further advise certain tests to investigate. Now comes anthropometric measurements. Now anthropometric measurements usually or specifically for the children under 5 years of age. Now anthropometric measurements, हम आपको अगर स्कूल की विज़िट पे लेके जाते तो वहाँ पर भी आप हाइट वेट बच्चों का देखते, आर्म सरकमफ्रेंस लेते, एंथ्रोपोमेट्रिक मेजरमेंट्स करते, so that you assess करते वहाँ पर चिल्ड्रन का न्यूट्रिशनल स्टेटस. तो अब तो आजकल जाहिर है कि विजिट्स हो ही नहीं रही बिकॉज ऑफ द यू आर नॉट प्रेजेंट इन द प्रेमिसेस ऑफ द कॉलेज. हाउ कैन वी प्रोसीड फर्दर? ओके, लेकिन वी प्रे टू ऑलमाइटी अल्लाह कि अल्लाह मियाँ जल्द से जल्द हम सब एक दूसरे से मिले, हालात नॉर्मल हों और इस एपिडेमिक और पैंडेमिक इसका खात्मा हो. ओके, we come to the topic which is anthropometric measurements. Now height, you will measure the height. हमने ये अभी कितना तो डिटेल में पढ़ा है, वॉटरलूज क्लासिफिकेशन और गोमेज क्लासिफिकेशन, हाइट और वेट के बारे में, और हमने लेबल किया बच्चों को वेस्टेज के अंदर, स्टंटिंग के अंदर, राइट. सो वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इन डिटेल. बच्चा अंडर वेट होगा आपको तो भी पता चल जाएगा, और बच्चा जो है वो अगर कद में छोटा है तो भी आपको पता चल जाएगा। सो हाइट एंड वेट, सिंपल टू measure, सिंपल टू weigh, एंड इट्स डायग्नोस्टिक ऑफ, इट विल टेल यू कि बच्चा किस लिस्ट में आ रहा है, नॉर्मल में आ रहा है, स्टंटिंग में आ रहा है, वेस्टिंग में आ रहा है, किस तरह का अंडर वेट है। सो इन एंथ्रोपोमेट्रिक मेजरमेंट एंड हाइट कम है, वेट कम है, ऑफ कोर्स द चाइल्ड इज मैल नरिश्ड, राइट। सो यू विल बी अवेयर। Then comes the skin fold thickness. This you take from the vernier caliper, and from the vernier caliper you take skin fold thickness. This tells you about the subcutaneous fat deposition, and of course skin fold thickness is taken at certain specific points like interscapular region. You take it. This will tell you about the subcutaneous fat. Then comes mid upper arm circumference measurement. This I have told you in my previous lecture in detail. Mid upper arm circumference. Usually there is a specific tape which is called as Shark's tape, and it has 3 colors also, red, green and yellow. And the red, it shows that the child is undernourished and severely, and the yellow, this is the warning that the child is going to be if the nutrition is not corrected, then the child will go into the red stage, and the green is normal. And I have told you about the borderline. What is the cutoff point? How many of you remember it? And if you don't remember, then please go and check. In my previous lecture I have mentioned you have to revise because you have to appear in the test. Okay, so please remember cutoff point. Mid-arm circumference measurement में what is the cutoff point, and how will you label mild malnutrition or moderate malnutrition with the help of the measurement of arm circumference. Okay, so this is your homework so that you can prepare for your test. Okay, in anthropometric measurements, then we take also for the very small, for infants, head measurements and chest measurements also, so that we can see that how well nourished children are or how malnourished children are. So anthropometric measurements, they are very helpful. And advantage of this is that you can measure them, but you don't require professional doctors for this. You can hire and you can train the health personnel like LHWs, LHVs, and all this can be, all the anthropometric measurement, this can be done by the non-professional workers which you have trained for it. Okay, so in the nutritional assessment measurement, first of all we studied about the clinical examination, then how we can take the anthropometric measurements and how we can assess, and then comes the biochemical assessment. Now in biochemical assessment, of course you are doing laboratory tests and you are confirming your diagnosis. Now, first of all, on the priority and on the topmost comes the hemoglobin level, and it tells you what? Hemoglobin level, it tells you what? It tells you about the iron deficiency anemia. And again, iron deficiency anemia is very important because most of the population here in the developing countries like Pakistan and here, then again especially the females, they are suffering from iron deficiency anemia. So very essential. Also it tells you about the folic acid deficiency anemia. Now you have to classify this anemia, or when the hemoglobin percentage is low, then patient falls in which category. Again, I have told you about the cutoff points, and you are supposed to study what should be the average hemoglobin concentration of an adult male, of an adult female, and at which level you will label it as the person is suffering from anemia. I have mentioned all in my previous lecture. Then stool examination, urine examination. And the urine can tell you about the glycosuria, about the albumin, and the stools, they can tell the reason. If the child is underweight, if the ova are present, then you can confirm your diagnosis that the worm infestation is present. So, laboratory tests, they are very significant. Then there are certain specific tests. Specific tests like when you want to determine vitamin A deficiency, you will do serum retinol level. Similarly, if you are suspecting the swelling in front of the neck, this is because of the goiter, urinary iodine excretion, you can measure. So, biochemical assessment, this will confirm you about the diagnosis, what you have thought of कि इसको malnutrition है, he is suffering from vitamin A deficiency, she is suffering from anemia. Then of course these are the not the diseases, these are due to certain diseases. Then you can of course confirm your diagnosis, assessment will be done, and then you will finally label the person. So this finishes your biochemical assessment. After this comes the functional assessment, then vital statistics, then dietary intake assessment, and assessment of ecological factors. So we have covered 3: clinical, anthropometry, and laboratory and biochemical assessment. And in our next lecture at 1:45 p.m. today, I will discuss with you functional assessment, then vital statistics, mortality and morbidity figures, then of course dietary intake assessment and assessment of ecological factors, right? So तब तक के लिए खुदा हाफिज़. ओके, अल्लाह हाफिज़.